I've wanted Bobby Kotick to step down as CEO of Activision Blizzard for quite some time now. Is that going to eliminate SBMM, which is actually ERMM, and implement anti-cheat into Warzone quicker? No. Is that going to make World of Warcraft updates better so it can stop hemorrhaging players to Final Fantasy VII and Amazon's New World? No. Is that going to make Candy Crush come back from the grave of mobile phone games? Yes, they own Candy Crush, by the way. No, it's not. Is that going to make Overwatch 2 come out in dank condition? No. Is it going to make Activision Blizzard a better game development house? No, it's not, but it's a start. Bobby Kotick? I'm AK-40 Kevin. This is a subpoena to show up in court. I would like you to provide paperwork for you and all of your executives showing that you haven't been blatantly tiptoeing around sexual harassment allegations and an overall culture of ass bullshit inside the cubicles and behind the closed double doors of Activision Blizzard. Let's get it. Alrighty, Stallions and Stallionettes, welcome to the Gamer Heaven. I am your host, AK-40 Kevin. In case you have absolutely no idea to the incoherent ramblings in the intro, basically the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing filed a lawsuit back in July for Activision Blizzard fostering and then nourishing a culture of what was kind of compared to a frat house. Basically, the gentlemen would get together and play a little game where you grab each other by the giblets, 2 points for grabbing somebody by the taint hair, 3 points for flicking him in the beanbag, and 5 for just grabbing a handful of jiddly bits. They would also do these things called cube crawls, which indeed is short for cubicle crawls, because indeed at the end of the workday you are crawling your ass to your car. They would compete how many flasks you can pound in the break room before going back to program a game. A lot of this all adds up and makes sense if you look at the quality of Activision Blizzard games over the last 5 to 8 years. It's been a long time since AB has been that golden era Blizzard when we were playing Diablo 2 back in the day. And a lot of people out there watching this right now might be saying,
oh, Kevin, they've got Warzone, they've got World of Warcraft, they've got Overwatch, they've got Candy Crush.
I know their library. Take a step back, pull out your monocle, Captain Jack Sparrow, and take a deep look into that company and the quality of their games. What is going on, Stallions and Stallionettes? I'm actually adding this in post-editing. Today is the launch day of Diablo 2 Resurrected. Have it installed, launched it, played it for probably about 2 or 3 hours, and guess what? It didn't save my character class. I created 2 characters and actually played with one for about 2 hours or so, beat the first 3 quests. None of that progress was saved. The server crashed. Now, it's understandable to have some server issues when launching a brand new game and whatnot, but I think this just perfectly ties in. I'm actually editing this video that you guys are watching right now in DaVinci Resolve right now, and it just, you know, I just got to the part where I'm talking about, like, look at the quality of their games, and it's not like I'm saying that Activision Blizzard makes bad games, and also, by the way, I'm not saying to boycott by not playing their games. I'm not saying to not stream their games. I'm not saying to tear up Activision Blizzard t-shirts or break coffee mugs of theirs and stuff like that. I'm not saying destroy their merchandise that you might have bought back in the day or not play their games. In fact, I will make a separate video with my personal take on that situation because I've had a lot of subscribers, followers, viewership, my audience. What is your opinion on playing Activision Blizzard games? Do you think it's hypocritical to talk shit about Bobby Kotick and AB, but then play their games? I certainly don't, actually. I get a lot of enjoyment from their games. Warzone, it's okay. World of Warcraft, not a huge, tremendous fan. I just bought Diablo 2 Resurrected, and granted it didn't save my character, and granted it did have some issues, it looked and felt really fun. Enjoyed it. So it's not like they just make shit games. They make decent games, decent being the key word there. But I feel like the games would be well above average or decent. They would actually be phenomenal, majestic, or grand if they were to stop drinking on the job and quit worrying about getting laid in the office and focus on producing games. So up until now, this major lawsuit from the state of California, which was based on a 2-year behind-the-scenes investigation showing that there were several women and men as well, but primarily women, definitely women of color as well. There were specifically minority women that were paid less, treated like shit, sexual harassed on the daily, and not some light yellow and orange light behavior, but full on in the red, like wouldn't be acceptable in any business situation. And don't get me wrong, the activities that these gentlemen were partaking in would have gotten you dapped up, would have got you some props with the boys in a frat house or something like that, but really doesn't have any place in a professional, industrial, business-like environment, especially when you are creating software products to release to the public for a good chunk of change. i.e. the video game industry. You can tell this is something I'm passionate about. And I wasn't even one of the people that was assaulted over there at Activision Blizzard. I just care about good quality games and the fair treatment of the employees that create these games, whether you're a low-level graphic designer, whether you're an audio technician, whether you're a CGI specialist. I care for you. AK-40 Kevin here at Gamer Heaven. I give a damn, sweetheart. I'm also heavily caffeinated right now, which means I'm dangerous. Means I've got my wits about me. But up until now, this investigation really wasn't affecting Bobby Kotick on a personal level. Yes, it is his company. He is the CEO, which is short for Chief Executive Officer, which is generally one of the highest, if not the highest position under the owner of a company. I spent a little time studying my bachelor's of business administration in college. So yes, it was his company, but this was not affecting him on a personal level. That has now changed. I'm going to explain why. Going ahead and share my screen here because, you know, I'll share just about anything with you guys. Within the realm of reason, of course. Go ahead and center my face in the webcam with a nice little glowing piece of ambiance over my shoulder there. That's YouTube 101, guys. So Bobby Kotick has now been officially subpoenaed. In case you don't know what that is when somebody knocks on your door, either at your house, your place of residence, or your business. They might even catch you in the parking lot and be like, hey, are you Bobby Kotick? If you guys have seen Pineapple Express, it's what Seth Rogen's character was serving to people. Basically, they get you to admit that that is who you are. You're like, yeah, I'm Bobby Kotick, aka Senator Palpatine. And then they're like, okay, great. And they let you know, hey, you've been summoned to court. Enjoy. So now coming hot off the heels of California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, or that's a mouthful, ladies. So CDFEH, I believe is the acronym, if my brain does serve me correctly. Coming hot off the heels of that lawsuit, now the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has launched a wide reach-around investigation into AB. But now the SEC, or Security and Exchange Commission, has basically summoned up or required, if you will, the personal files of 6 previous employees and the records of Bobby Kotick's personal communications with executives relating to the numerous complaints, hundreds, of sexual harassment and discrimination levied against Activision Blizzard staff. And I guarantee you, when they start going through some of the email correspondence, some of the chat logs, maybe even some recorded phone calls, because the IT department at your job most likely does keep audio logs of some phone calls, like that slogan from the Men's Warehouse, the janky suit company, I guarantee it that along the line somewhere, probably multiple times, some of Bobby Kotick's high-level executives were like, hey, Bob or Bobby or B-Man, whatever they call them, you know, these high-level executives, they're up there on the level of Bobby Kotick. We're getting a bunch of the worker grunts down there in the bullpen, you know, all those cretins and peasants down there in the cubicles. I'd be quite shocked. Zeus's nips if somewhere along the lines Bobby Kotick didn't blow these off or literally sweep them under the rug or blatantly say, we've got games to push out, I don't have time for this shit, or something like that, some insensitive bullshit like that. And the purpose of them providing these documents is for the SEC to figure out whether Activision and its executives correctly and adequately disclosed allegations of workspace harassment and gender pay issues to investors and other related individuals if these disclosures happened quickly enough. Do you want to hear how Bobby Kotick and his high-level executives have been handling the situation thus far? Incredibly defensively, which you don't get defensive over something unless you have something to hide. Generally, if you're cheating or something, you get skittish around your cell phone. If my girl tries to grab my phone and I know I've been blasting tits back that aren't hers, I'm gonna be like, whoa, why do you need to see my phone? As where if I don't have anything to hide, I'm gonna be like, oh, cool. Yeah, here you go. Can you let me know if I have any Facebook notifications? Go into my YouTube dashboard. What's my sub count? Because I have nothing to hide. As where Bobby Kotick and the boys have met this head-to-head with California, basically fighting the state on this investigation, and then they shredded documents, literally threw away documents that the courts requested to see, shredded them, destroyed them. This is a fun one too. Activision hired a union-busting firm, Wilmer Hale, who does a lot of crisis diversion for companies, in an effort to basically hush employees and not get this information leaked to the public. They also said during several statements that they wish the state of California excuse-moi, would have came to them directly before making these accusations public. Why? Perhaps grease a couple of palms? Perhaps slide a couple of greenbacks in an envelope across the table to get this to not go public? Again, something to hide perhaps? And just to leave you on one quick note, I'm going to tell you a quick story about Activision Blizzard, just so you kind of understand the scope and scale of this investigation and whatnot. There was a female employee that committed suicide at a company retreat or vacation, you know, kind of like a company retreat. She had been sexually harassed for months from high-level executives, had reported several times that she was being harassed, and then at this very retreat, a bunch of male employees are passing around a cell phone with nude pictures of her, which to my knowledge most likely weren't taken behind her back or anything like that. She probably sent them because she was in a adult romantic sexual relationship with one of these executives and was probably sending nudes because, well, nothing wrong with that. But again, he's just sharing this with the boys out, you know, out and about too, not just like one or two close friends like, whoa, look at this, bro. Literally passing it around openly, which I can imagine was incredibly embarrassing for this young lady. She happened to kill herself at that very company retreat. Oh boy. Oh, and then when that story became public and was in the light of the public eye, Bobby Kotick said, I wish you would have came to me before releasing this to the public. Yeah, I can imagine you don't want your image dragged through the mud with something like that. That's pretty heinous. So do I think all of this falls on Bobby Kotick? Absolutely not. However, he is the CEO, so he has to know to a certain degree the day-to-day operations of his company. It's part of being a CEO or a CFO or any high-level executive that you have a pretty good situational awareness of the company climate. And the fact that not only he did not, but also I think it stretches far further than just ignorance. I think we're going to discover through this investigation that a lot of it was quite vindictive, and a lot of these reports, again, were reported, they were filed, and those files might have gotten lost. It seems that Bobby Kotick and the high-level executives are now under fire directly, which I do think will lead to Bobby Kotick having to step down as CEO of Activision Blizzard. Is that going to turn the company around and get them to start spitting out AAA bangers again? No, I don't think so. I really don't, because Activision Blizzard as a company has bigger issues than just Bobby Kotick. He has done some incredibly detrimental things, such as laying off thousands of employees right before the holidays to net himself some personal profit. There's an article about that I think I shared a few months back. And again, just so you guys never think I'm popping off or going off on a whim, or this is just my personal opinion, which the way I'm wording it, yes, is my personal opinion. But all of this is based solely on fact, and I will have all these articles sourced or cited in the description below, as I do anytime I cover any news in the gaming community and industry. You know, how to optimize your PS5, or I'm doing a game review or something like that. I cover a lot of gaming news, and when I do it quite thoroughly. Not to toot my own flute here, my own horn, but I do extensive research before I pop off, before I cock back, pop a mag in, and pop off on these topics. Whew, I am spicy right now. I am muy caliente right now. If you enjoyed this video, liking it will help it to get seen by more people, so this information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel from a limp doozer to a big, thick, veiny, girthy rager, which is exactly what we're going for here at Gamer Heaven. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, honest gaming peripheral reviews, and I go live occasionally too. I don't have a stream schedule, but I go live sometimes. And I'll see you tomorrow, because I upload daily. Peace.